"What a magical day this has been," Sylvia said when Mac had paid the bill and she was pulling on her backpack. "I have to have a souvenir of this evening." Mac sighed theatrically and put a hand to his forehead. She sidled up to him and cooed, "I think Dior on Montaigne is still open." "This is going to be expensive," Mac groaned. The British pair laughed out loud. They took a taxi to Avenue Montaigne. Mac and Sylvia didn't buy anything, but the Brit pulled out his credit card and bought a hideous silk shawl for his new wife. Mac settled for a couple of bottles of Moet et Chandon from a nearby wine shop. Out in the street, he took out a joint, lit it, and passed it to the Englishwoman. Sylvia put her arms around the Englishman's waist and looked him deep in the eyes. "I want," she said, "to drink these bottles together with you in your room." The Brit gulped audibly and looked at his wife. "She can play with Mac at the same time," Sylvia whispered, and kissed him on the lips. "It's perfectly all right with me." They hailed another taxi. 3. The Central Hotel Paris was a clean, simple spot in Montparnasse. They took the lift to the third floor and tumbled, giggling and slightly stoned, into the room which looked out on the Rue de Maine. The walls were sunshine yellow. In the middle of the thick sky-blue carpet was an enormous double bed. "I'll get this bubbly stuff opened at once," Max said, taking one of the bottles of champagne into the bathroom. "No one go anywhere." Sylvia kissed the Englishman again, more seriously this time, using her tongue. She noticed his breath get quicker. He probably had a full erection already. "I expect you're a big boy, aren't you?" she said in a seductive voice, her hand moving along his leg up toward his crotch. She could see the Englishwoman was blushing, but she said nothing to stop this from proceeding. "Bottoms up," Max said, coming back into the room with 4 improvised champagne glasses on the tray that had held the toothbrush glasses. "Here we go," Sylvia cried, swiftly taking one of the glasses and knocking it back. The British pair were quick to follow her example. Mac laughed and went around refilling the glasses. Then he lit another joint, which was perfectly rolled. "How long have you been married?" Sylvia asked, inhaling and passing the marijuana cigarette. 4 weeks, the woman said. "Just imagine," Sylvia said, "all those lovely nights ahead of you. I'm jealous." Mac pulled the Englishwoman to him and whispered something in her ear. She let out a laugh. Sylvia smiled. "Mac can keep going for ages. Shall we try to beat them?" "I think we can." She leaned over and nibbled at the man's earlobe. She noticed his eyelids were already drooping. The Englishwoman giggled a low, confused sound. "Only a minute or so now," Max said. "We're close now." 4. Sylvia smiled and slowly undid the man's shirt. She managed to get his shoes and trousers off before he collapsed on the bedspread. "Clive," the woman slurred. "Clive, I love you forever. You know that." Then she too fell asleep. Mac had managed to take all her clothes off apart from her underwear. He removed the underpants now, carried her to the bed, and laid her down next to her husband. Her hair, a little shorter than Sylvia's, but more or less the same color, spread out like a fan. Sylvia picked up her purse. She riffled quickly through the credit cards, then looked more closely at the passport. "Emily Spencer," she read, checking the photo. "This is good. We look similar enough. That makes it easier." "Do you think she's related to Lady Di?" Max said as he pulled off her wedding ring. Sylvia gathered together Emily Spencer's clothes, valuables, and other important belongings and stuffed them in her backpack. Then she opened the bag's outer pocket and pulled out latex gloves, chlorhexidine, and a stiletto knife. "Mona Lisa?" she asked. Max smiled. "What else? Perfect choice. Help me with the cleaning first, though." They pulled on the gloves, got some paper towels from the bathroom, and set about methodically wiping down everything they had touched in the room, including the 2 unconscious figures on the bed. Sylvia stared at the man's genitals. "He wasn't that big after all," she said, and Mac laughed. "Ready?" she asked, pulling her hair up into a ponytail. They took off their own clothes and folded them and put them